Listening to the Wrestlebread Podcast.
Cut the shit.
How many red carpets you guys want to walk in your $4,000 ridiculous heels? You will never be able to lace up my Chuck Taylor.
This is your fault. This is your fault.
I didn't get mad when you stole all my moves.
Your daddy's not here anymore.
How was your movie, by the way? I missed it.
Mine went straight to DVD, just like yours.
Careful you don't hurt your neck again going through those ropes.
What is going on, everyone? My name is Jaydee, the first effing lady of the Fanatics Network, and happy Thursday. Happy Thursday. I hope everyone is having a great day. I know I am in competition of NFL right now. I do have it up on the side, paying close attention to it. Because I got fucking Brock Purdy in one of my fantasy leagues, and I also have Christian McCaffrey. Don't know how I got that, but I forgot what place I was in. But happy Thursday. A lot of things went down this week in wrestling. A lot of things. Had some WWE releases today. We had Grand Slam last night. We had the return of The Rock and John Cena because, you know, it was Friday and they ain't got shit to do. So I am glad that you guys are here. We're gonna have a little bit of a good time tonight. We got I got the return of something. I hope it was a fan favorite when I had the different layouts and stuff like that, but we gonna get it going. But let's get into the chats and shout out to the early birds. As I love when they do these weird ass graphics. So they got, it looks like a 80s TV show to show the starting the starting front of San Fran with Purdy, Kittle, Debo, and McCaffrey. But first of all, let's get the shout out. What's going on, Graydon? Hey, let's go. Be sure to check out the director's cut. If you haven't checked out this past week, be sure to check it out. Very nice new look and new intro and everything like that. So be sure to check it out. What's going on, Nick? Be sure you guys check out the Universal Wrestling Podcast as well. And yes, I knew what you meant. Let's go. What's going on? I love this intro. I love it too. I love the new intro. Yes, the new overlay. Everything is new. Everything is new. What a day in wrestling. Yes, it's a crazy ass day in wrestling, and I will get all into it as well. What's going on, Senor Stinky? Where is the bread? The bread is not here. The bread is not here. The bread is on the back burner. Not literally, but you know, the bread is on the back burner. Ooh, look at that new look. Yes. Look at the new look. I am loving it. I am definitely loving it. What's going on, Dylan? What's good, JD? And not much competition. This game blows. This game is surprising the hell out of me. I don't know how we are at 10-3 against the Giants. I thought that San Fran would go through them like butter, but you know, apparently in the with the last game, someone must have like the coach must have cursed them out in the middle during halftime or something because they came out as a different team afterwards, and they're looking slightly scary to be this tough against San Fran. Um, I mean, I'm hoping that I didn't check the fantasy league to see how Brock Purdy is doing in, numbers wise, but I did hear Christian McCaffrey with a couple of carries and stuff like that. And yeah, I'm little concerned here, but that's what I really love about the NFL is that shit changes from week to week. It was a weird week this past week, and it's going to be another weird weekend as we see here on Thursday. And what's going on just in time? Just in time because he is just in time. What is up, first effing lady? What is going on? And then Juan, what it do? What is going on? Thank you so much for tuning in. Oh, Mr. Former Presidente, my sister, what's happening? Happy Thursday. What is going on? Thank you so much for tuning in. Be sure to check out Circle of Debate. Be sure to check out Circle of Debate and everything that they got going on there. Senior Stinky said, this is greatly disappointed. I expected loaves upon loaves. My bad. My bad. I am live. That is, yeah, that's my son. He wants to say something.
Yo, what's going on, chat? Yo.
Whoa. Because he knocked down my stuff. All Thursday night games seems boring. Yeah. Yeah, I miss how Thursday night games used to feel. I mean, I've been like in and out of watching this game. I was hoping there was going to be some excitement. But yeah, here go Clumsy King. Mister? Okay, just Mister is his name.
What's going on, chat? How y'all doing on this evening, night, or morning? Make sure if you enjoy the content, you like. Wait,
It's right here. The Fanatics Network. Yes, that's how you
make sure you subscribe and go to socials. Make sure if you like the content, you subscribe and go to socials. Really work hard on this content to deliver. And it only takes 3 seconds. Just
there you go.
3 seconds.
3 seconds. That's it. That's all it takes is just 3 seconds. Yeah. Thank you. What's going on, Isaac? Thank you so much for tuning in. And Juan said, what up, homie?
So anyway, how y'all liking Thursday night games though? Like, I heard it was pretty bad.
You don't even watch football. Oh, okay.
Yeah.
What's going on, streets? First of all, if you guys are into fantasy football like yours truly, you want to know who to start, who not to start, who you should avoid, and everything in between, make sure you get it from the streets. What was the other message you're trying to say? You see, he's been raised right. He is wearing the Batman hoodie. He's been raised right.
Arkham Knight's the best Batman.
You said what?
Arkham Knight is the best Batman.
Okay. Do you know the name of the person?
I keep on forgetting it, but he died, right?
Yeah, he did pass away. You're telling me as a Bears fan, it's been weird. Yes, Graydon, it's been pretty weird. It's been pretty weird. Yeah, especially for what I heard's going on over in Chicago, like craziness. Streets or Matt Daddy, that is right. Get it from the streets or Matt Daddy. All your fantasy football information. Chargers need a new head coach. Shaking my head. It's going to be an interesting off season. I have oh my gosh, your quarterback. I have him in a fantasy league, but I switched him out for Brock Purdy. I think that's who I switched him out for. It was either Brock Purdy or Dak Prescott. But yeah. What's going on, Kayla? Thank you so much for tuning in. I hope you're having a great Thursday. Be sure to check out Outrage Control on Sundays with Kayla and Dan. And then be sure to check out the Bump Boys as well.
All right, chat. I'm about to get off here. Just want to say some word of advice. Make sure you keep on pushing for them dreams, chat. Make sure you don't give up. Because if you don't give up, what do you have in the end? You want to always come out with something beneficial, chat. Make sure you do something good that benefits you. You know, chat. It's like even if you get knocked down, good, get back up. Because if you don't, what was the point? And time is a factor. Time is the most expensive currency you could ever have. Time, chat. Time.
That sounds like a Rocky Balboa speech right there.
Stay cool, chat. Stay cool.
That is Mr., right? That's what you want to be called, Mr. Little Mr. over there. Chargers will blame Kellen Moore also for lighting up the scoreboard. Yeah, I feel bad for Kellen Moore. Kellen Moore definitely got the blame for the Cowboys. Now that he's gone, we have oh my gosh. I forgot my coach's name. I was about to say McCaffrey. I'm drawing a blank. I didn't expect my son to bump in here, so now I'm drawing blanks, stuff like that. As I'm thinking McCaffrey because I'm watching McCaffrey with this carry right here, as they get the first down. So hopefully, we start to see the 49ers of last year that definitely crushed every Cowboys fan's dream of making it further into the playoffs. Senior Stinky, who hotter than Top Dollar? We gonna get into that. So let's get into some rumors, stuff like that. I did just get a little bit into football and everything like that. Cowboys are 2-0, but I'm holding my breath. I'm going to see what is going to come. Well, no, we're going against Arizona, so that's not even really that's not going to really be a test because our defense is going to just crush them. But I'm waiting for when we go against someone like an actual team. So I know that there are some Cowboys fans out there that's like, we're going to the Super Bowl. No, not so fast. It was only the Giants, and it was the Jets without fucking Aaron Rodgers. So let's not get too excited. But yeah, so we're getting into what everybody's talking about in the chat with the releases. As we knew with the merger with WWE and being merged with Endeavor, creating TKO, we knew that there was going to be with mergers, it was going to be some layoffs and things like that, with Dana Warrior being laid off and whole departments being laid off as well. So of course we expected there was going to be didn't know if there was going to be any releases when it came to didn't know if we are going to get some releases when it comes to the wrestlers, and then here we are today. I see the Cubs trying to do something. Here we are here today. And Cowboy and Chargers fan, but yeah, patience. Yeah, gotta have patience this year. It was we didn't face a challenging team just yet. I want to see how we are with an actual team, with an actual defense, and then we'll go from there. But yeah, we had some releases earlier today, even up to like a few hours ago. I mean, it was completely crazy. Of course, no one really, some people, the dirt sheets kind of said that it may have happened. But geez, coming into today and seeing some of the names that were being released and then coming out with so far maybe a full list right now. A lot of people are wondering where everyone's going to go. The good thing about WWE releases right now is the fact that they have places to go. There's AEW, there's New Japan, there's Impact. Hell, if you decide that you want to, you can open up your own wrestling school, things like that. So it's no longer the end all be all. I mean, I said, back when Bray Wyatt was released, I was very upset because I felt as though money was left on the table. And that's my same feeling with some of these releases, that you're kind of leaving money on the table. Now, the biggest one that I'm very upset about is Mustafa Ali. He was supposed to get a title shot for the North American Championship. A little bit of a new gimmick that he was doing, a slight variation of what the gimmick that he wanted to do originally. Now, he did ask for his release a few years ago, but it was due to some creative differences. They wanted from what I've heard from the dirt sheets, they wanted him to do something that he really felt was a bit offensive, and then he asked for his release. And it seemed like it was something that was going to be on the up and up for him, but he got released, and my reaction to it was, damn. That's right. We got the clips back, ladies and gentlemen. But yeah, Diggs went down today. Really? I gotta look into that. Yes, Dolph Ziggler is another one that hits hard. I feel, first of all, I'm a fan of Dolph Ziggler because I loved the way he sold. I mean, he made people look like $1,000,000. I was screaming my head off when he cashed in that Money in the Bank briefcase. I was happy for him when he had the when I forgot which Survivor Series it was, where he was sole survivor and just really just put on a show for everyone. And it just felt like, I mean, he was like the workhorse and everything when willing to sell and things like that. And he's been with the company for a very, very long time. And it just felt like he really didn't get anything for it. Um, but like Juan say, I see Dolph definitely going to AEW. If you ever watched the Being the Elite series, he's actually been in the Being the Elite series because his brother goes to AEW, and his brother does little bits for Being the Elite, and he films for his brother so you can hear his voice in the background. So he does a lot of comedy too with his brother as well. So I think Dolph Ziggler will be okay. So I can see Dolph Ziggler going to AEW. I feel as though some money left on the table for him. A lot of people have made comparisons with him for to Shawn Michaels. Of course, the look and things like that, and the little bit of the way he wrestles too. But yeah, Dolph Ziggler, it's a shame because he's been with the company for so long, and for him to just like get released like that sucks. Yeah, Kayla, Dolph Ziggler hits hard. Yeah, it's sad. Um, and then with Mustafa Ali, I kind of see him going to Impact, maybe hitting up the X division. I feel like he'll be a nice fit over there. We also had Emma. Emma was a bit salty because it was announced that they were going to, which I'll get into more too, that WWE was doing a premium live event in Australia. She was excited about it, and then she was like, "Oh damn, never mind, I got released." I'm like, "Damn, that's salty." We also had Elias, and going with Senor Stinky's comment, Kevin Owens finally got closure about Elias and Ezekiel situation. He was right. Yes. Elias did admit that he did play Zeke. They were one and the same person. So the mystery has been finally solved. And yes, this release, Shelton Benjamin, that was crazy. Of course, people was hoping that there was going to be a Hurt Business reunion or something like that. He was another one that, when he came back, I had hopes for him that, he'll be able to, be able to tear the house down once again because he's pretty good as well. Liverpool in the house. What's going on, James? Thank you so much for tuning in. Dolph and Ali, man, they can wrestle. The rest I can understand. Yeah. A lot of people on the list, they weren't really used like that. So it kind of makes sense for them to be released. There's no point on holding on to people if you have like no plans on using them at all. I reckon he sold the phone call he got back about the release like a super kick. Yeah, he really had me fooled. And then James said, "Ain't no stopping me now for Benjamin will be in WWE's the Woos where his mom." Yeah. I I think Shelton Benjamin will be fine. I'm not sure like what his plans will be for the future, if he wants to continue wrestling or if he wants to go into coaching or something like that. Um I think I read someone said that he should go to New Japan or something like that. Top Dollar, only him was let go, not the rest of Hit Row. So I'm not sure what they have in store for them or if we're gonna have another round of releases. Rick Booz was slightly disappointed for. I felt as though they had something with him. I mean, if they had just changed up the gimmick just a little bit, I mean, he got over with, especially with Shinsuke Nakamura as far as singing and stuff like that. We had Madcap Moss that was let go. They really didn't have much for him to do outside the whole situation with Emma. Aaliyah, I believe she got injured when she was she was tag team champion, everything like that. Monsieur and Monse, um, gosh, I feel bad for them. First of all, those two are fucking hilarious on Up Up Down Down. If you haven't watched them on there, they are hilarious on there, and it made me kind of become fans of them because of the way that they are on there. They're hilarious. So I'm not too surprised of the release of those two because with the maximum male models. But as far as Mansoor, I don't know if I mean, I'm sure they're going back to Saudi sooner or later. So I thought that they would use him again for something like that. And next is Dana Brooke, which I'm slightly surprised about because they did put her into NXT. It felt like she was getting kind of a second wind when it came to as far as her gimmick and stuff. They teamed her up with I forgot her name. I think her last name is Jordan or something like that. She's also a gymnast as well. And I thought that, they was going to try to give her a second chance or something like that. They really didn't have a feud for them to do or anything like that before they got released. Commander Aziz, I'm not too surprised about. They really didn't have anything for him. Shanky, if I remember correctly, they used him for when they toured in India. Um, Not too surprised about that because they really didn't use him like that. Quincy Elliott is interesting as well. First of all, I found the gimmick very interesting because it was like a mixture of Gold Dust and Viscera almost. Or maybe not Viscera, but what was his name in Men on a Mission? Mabel, I think it was. So he was a mixture between those two and definitely was. I felt as though like a bit of a pioneer for like not a legitimate person because WWE has dealt with the LGBTQ community, but I felt as though it was a bit of like kind of a response to Anthony Bowen in AEW, if you ask me. So I was a little surprised with WWE going in that direction and having Quincy Elliott there. But for them to release him, I don't know. I don't really watch NXT um consistently, so I'm not sure if they did anything with him recently from what I used to watch him. And then there was a bunch of other names. I'm going to guess they were from the the Performance Center, as I don't recall hearing them names in NXT. So as Bryson, Montana, Ulissa, Leon, I think I seen this person before. You also have Daniel MacArthur, Kevin Ventura, Cortez, and Alexis Gray. Alexis Gray sounds familiar. I don't know if that person was in AEW Dark or something like that. I'm not sure. Juan said Benjamin New Japan. Yeah, a lot of people are saying Shelton Benjamin should go to New Japan. That'll be very interesting. Fun guy, what's going on? Thank you so much for tuning in. Shelton as a coach would be amazing. Yeah, I think like the amount of knowledge that he has, him as a coach or something like that, would be great. Juan also said Dana Brooke was a better manager. Yeah, and I thought that that's what they were trying to get her to do. Try to like give her a second opportunity, a second win by giving her a protege. But I guess they didn't really see anything with her. Now, as we all know, with these releases, this could be it, or it could be more coming. Because a lot of people started naming people that was like, oh, these people got released, but this person didn't get released type of situation. And it's like, it is what it is. They have their reasons for why this person versus that person. Dan, what's going on? Cage my IQ. Quincy hasn't been on TV for like 4 or 5 months. Okay, so that makes sense because, like I said, I didn't recall seeing him like that recently from when I did tune in to NXT from time to time. So that makes a lot of sense. James Bowen says WWE should have made more with Benjamin. Rick Booz was kind of funny. Emma's was okay. Has Dana Brooks still got the new they still got AEW, TNA, and WA. Yeah, completely forgot NWA. New Japan and others, they'll be okay. Yeah, which is what I love for the fact of, this time around. Because the big thing is you have AEW. So if you want to make a lot of money, is money really your motivation with wrestling? You can, get into AEW and get paid a lot of money and work a much easier schedule as well. If you want to kind of get like a bit of a new wind or something like that, like I said, Mustafa Ali will be perfect in Impact as far as the X division as well. People are saying Shelton Benjamin could go to New Japan, and like we've seen with Cody, like we've seen with Drew McIntyre, and a lot of other people who left, made a name for themselves in other companies and came back. It can happen. So it's not like the end all be all for someone like Mustafa Ali or Rick Booz or even Aaliyah. So I wish them all the best. It sucks for some of them. Like for me, Dolph Ziggler, Mustafa Ali, Shelton Benjamin. I feel as though you could have done a little bit more with them. I mean, Dolph Ziggler, I felt as like Dolph Ziggler was like I I know there were people that were sick and tired of him, but I felt as though like he was so good at selling. Give him the right, feud to work with, and I felt as though he would have shined. Dan said Shelton Benjamin going back to New Japan would be cool. He enjoyed his time there. Yeah, I think that would be cool for Shelton Benjamin to go back to New Japan. Definitely, make a name for himself. And like I said, the fact that we have AEW, it's not going to be the last time we'll see them on TV in the US. If Shelton Benjamin goes to New Japan, we got Wrestle Dream coming on October 1st. We can have Shelton Benjamin go against somebody. If Mustafa Ali goes to Impact, does the X Division, we can have Mustafa Ali show up, show up with on AEW, or even have someone go to Impact and wrestle against him as well. If Emma decides to, for example, go to NWA or something like that, it's like not the end all be all because they can still appear on TV in front of a large audience, which is what I love about the fact that AEW exists. I know that, there are people who are anti AEW and stuff like that, regardless whether it's your cup of tea or not. The fact that there are options now for these wrestlers that got released is amazing. That is no longer the end all be all. We're not going to see them wrestle in gyms and, try to hold on to like the glory of what they had in WWE. We're not going to see them, work regular jobs. Who was it? Was it I think it was Scotty 2 Hotty, got released from WWE, and I think he became either a cop or a fighter. I forgot which one it was. But we're not going to see things like that of, oh, where are they? And they're working a regular job. They have a second win now. Shelton Benjamin can go to AEW and be a coach if he wanted to. I mean, we've seen how the legends are treated at AEW. They're more of mentors versus, taking over people's spots and stuff like that. Juan said CM Punk on the way had to free up money, had to free the money up, Vince, pal. Exactly. Yeah, if they are planning on paying CM Punk a lot of money, which I'm sure CM Punk is going to want a lot of money, then yeah, you definitely got to free up some capital for it. All Japan did was put an X in between his name to get around WWE's trademark. Yeah, oh yeah, Shelton X Benjamin. Yeah, like you can get around the names. I'm sure Dolph Ziggler, he'll probably, go to his actual name or something like that, especially since his brother uses his actual name and whatnot. So definitely. Uh James said Tony seems a better guy than Vince too, but Triple H keeps his nose out of AEW's time to pay the bills. Yeah, I mean, I think I remember reading of Tony wanting to work with WWE, in which I said, no, that's a terrible idea because WWE will get your secrets and then they'll fuck you over pretty much. Um, but yeah, Tony does seem, from what a lot of people are saying, Tony is a very nice guy. I mean, it works well for him. It may not work well for him in certain things, but yeah. I think even as far as these releases, I believe John Cena even said something about it. Oh yeah, he said 1,554 matches and then tagged Dolph Ziggler and said respect. That's how many matches Dolph Ziggler did, which is crazy. Of that many matches that he did for WWE and he just gets dumped like that. And I feel like I said, I feel bad for him because he was such a workhorse. He did a lot for the company. Like, no, yeah, he made it to the top once and whatnot, but it just sucks. I really hope that wherever he goes, that they use him to his potential. I feel as though like there was some money left on the table when it came to him. Definitely some money left on the table for him. In other news too with WWE, SmackDown is being moved to USA, is staying on Fridays, but no longer on Fox. It is coming to the USA Network. I didn't really read too much into what the deal actually is. But there was rumors that we heard previously that Fox may not re-sign the network deal for SmackDown, and that the Mickey Mouse and I believe Amazon was in contention of getting the rights for SmackDown. Juan said Dolph might be tired of jobbing for Vince. Yeah, yeah. It was oh my gosh, the years of frustration I had for Dolph, of especially around the time where he was the sole survivor for Survivor Series. It was just like so crazy. The amount of shit that he went through as far as the WWE. But like I said, I hope wherever he goes that he be used properly. It seemed more likely either he's going to become a full-time comedian or he's going to, hit up AEW and team up with his brother. If you get in nice enough. I mean, could be them. Someone said them versus the Young Bucks. I could see them versus the Gun Club. That would be funny. A bit of a promo off between those between the brothers and stuff like that. I think that would be funny. Yes, it did read 4 special episodes on NBC. So I didn't read too much of what that actually means, if it's going to be like what AEW does with like Grand Slam or something like that, and it's coming on a special night or time, or if we're talking like, tribute to the troops or something like that. Raw and NXT probably leaving USA. I didn't read that. So I guess what they're going possibly could go to Amazon or Disney or something like that. I just don't want I just don't want them to change the days. Keep Raw on Mondays, keep NXT on Tuesdays. And because the way the layout of wrestling right now works for a lot of people because you have Raw on Mondays. If you watch NXT on Tuesdays, Dynamite on Wednesdays, Impact, if you watch Impact on Thursdays, Fridays is SmackDown, Saturdays Collision or the Premium Live event. Sundays is for football, and then if AEW has a Premium Live event as well. So, but yeah, let me know, Dan, of where Raw and NXT could possibly go. James said, how long was he in WWE? Ziggler, it's a lot of matches. Why his brother AEW didn't know that. Dolph Ziggler, I think Dolph Ziggler hit the 20-year mark. Yeah, I know. I figure he meant brother. I think Dolph Ziggler was hitting the 20-year mark. That's why I'm like surprised that he 2004. Yeah. He was about to hit his 20 years next year, that's why I'm like, it's crazy that he just got let go like that. And that's why I was like frustrated of what, he's been through. But yeah, he's been with the company since 2004. So it would have been 20 years. But yeah, his brother was has been in AEW. He hasn't been really prominent on AEW TV. When AEW was running Dark Elevation, that's where he mainly was. And he had a bit of a run on Dark Elevation. He is mainly seen on the Young Bucks have their YouTube series called Being the Elite, and his brother Ryan has been on there. And I think his wife or something is in is a writer or something like that, because he mainly is fighting for the writer strike over in Hollywood. A lot of his segments is about that. So I don't know if he, I think he was off TV because Tony didn't have much for him. I mean, it's only so many people you can show on these 3 hours of TV, or 4 actually if you count Rampage. But yeah, his brother is in AEW, not really prominent on TV, but I'm going to assume if Tony decides to get Dolph Ziggler, that he's gonna be teamed up with his brother, and his brother would be a little bit more dominant on TV. Juan says Cody's WWE run is getting cold. Listen, you are talking to the president of the Cody Haters Club.
Hey.
Listen. All right. So I've been keeping the same energy that I had from him in AEW. I feel as though his baby facing is just a little bit too much. And it gives me like Cena wins LOL vibes. And I'm just a lot. I mean, it works for WWE as far as the way that he is as a babyface. It didn't work for AEW because it's not realistic. No one is 100% like perfectly good, or I see the good in everyone. And I'll get into more of what he recently did as well. But yeah, I cannot wait for him to win the title. I know people are surprised at me saying that, but yeah, I cannot wait for him to win the title so we can see how he is as champion, because you can't be an underdog as a champion. You can't. You can't win. You can't be Tom Brady and then say you're an underdog. No, you're Tom Brady. So you can't be an underdog. So once Cody wins this title, it's going to be like, no, you are a champion. You are no longer an underdog. So you can't do these I'm wrestling as an underdog type of situation. And I know, and I'm calling it now here, September 21st, 2023 at 9:42 p.m. EST. Cody is going to win that title, and eventually people are going to get sick and tired of his title run, and they're going to sit there and be done with him. They're going to turn on him and boo him like they did with Bianca Belair, except for it's going to happen in a shorter period of time. I'm going to say within a year, people are going to get tired of it. You heard it here first. James said they let someone who would be good, a good trainer and done do on someone almost 20 years. Yeah, that's WWE for you. Exactly. I mean, like I said, money left on the table. When they released Bray Wyatt, I was furious. I said that that's a moneymaker. I know that he like had a lot of ideas and stuff like that, but everyone was like his return to Extreme Rules was an experience. Him putting out these QR codes, people deciphering the riddles and stuff like that. I haven't seen anything like a return like that since like Undertaker. As far as these little, clues, you're waiting for the vignette to show and stuff like that. All the FBI agents and Twitter sitting there telling you the source code and this is what this means, stuff like that. That was amazing. Him doing the Firefly Funhouse and everything was amazing. The Fiend, the Wyatt family, all that was amazing. So when he got released, I damn near wanted to write an angry letter to Vince McMahon and just be like,
Move this man!
like how you let somebody like that go? That was that creative. But yeah, I feel the same way with Dolph Ziggler. I feel as though money is left on the table. He can make people look like $1,000,000. I used to have a YouTube channel. It was like a parody YouTube channel. And I put together like this parody about Dolph Ziggler and his selling. And it was something like I'm gonna post it to social media at a certain time. I should do it tomorrow. I have to pull it up. Download it, and post it to social media. But it was pretty much like, do you need someone to sell your moves to you, make your moves look amazing? And I use clips of people who sold moves incorrectly. So of course, Razor Ramon taking the stunner. When Triple H did the pedigree on Ultimate Warrior, and Ultimate Warrior immediately stood back up, and I was like, contact I forgot what I called it. I don't know if I called it the contact Dolph Ziggler, like the selling of Dolph Ziggler, or I forgot how I worded it. But I sat there and sang the praises of Dolph Ziggler selling, because he can make a move look like $1,000,000. I mean, the way he sold the RKO, the way he sold a monkey flip at one time, like he looked like he died, which is kind of like how you want finishers to look, because it would make sense for that person to stay down for the 3 seconds for the 1, 2, 3. And yeah, I love the way that he sold. And I wasn't the biggest fan of the Dirty Dogs, because it was just like, didn't really know what we were doing, like what direction we were going with the Dirty Dogs. And it felt like they kind of had the rhythm, and then they just completely disappeared from TV. So I was hoping under Triple H that maybe he would have found something for Dolph Ziggler, but Triple H couldn't even find something for the people that he brought back himself. So, but yeah, I think Dolph Ziggler can go to AEW. Shelton Benjamin, Mustafa Ali too. I felt as though money is definitely left on the table for Mustafa Ali. He is an amazing wrestler. And like I said, I could see him going to TNA, going to Impact, and work with the X division and really just tearing it up. He can appear in AEW from time to time. If he decides to go to New Japan, which I doubt he would do, because he is a big family guy. But yeah, I think Impact, or if he does decide to go to AEW, the scheduling for those companies are so much easier that he'll be able to spend time with his family. Vince might not put him over the Stardust hates. Yeah, exactly. But it is Triple H that is doing the booking, which I'm completely shocked that Triple H has been booking him. I mean, he did have him lose at WrestleMania, but I thought that we would get petty Triple H, because it was Cody that created that anti-WWE hate in AEW. It was pretty much him with the breaking of the throne and the sledgehammer and stuff like that. So I'm completely surprised. Bray was a real money maker. CM Punk back in WWE. I hope not. Rollins will give him a hug. Triple H would not long before CM Punk gets kicked out of WWE. If he goes just for fun, maybe he'll go to the UFC. I don't know about him going to UFC. I think he's going to stay far away from UFC now. He tried that and it completely failed. But yeah, I am surprised of him possibly going to WWE. I know that it's all about money and stuff like that, but in my opinion, him going to WWE makes zero sense. Like, the person who is in charge is the one he had beef with the most. He had beef with Vince McMahon, but it was Triple H that he really had beef with. I mean, it was Triple H who fired him on his wedding day. And it's like, I understand, like, years had passed and stuff like that. But CM Punk definitely comes off as the person that holds grudges. I mean, he is still upset with what's his name? Coco Cabana after all these years. So I'm like, I really don't see how he is going to be okay coming back to WWE and letting his creative freedom be put into the hands of Triple H, who fired you on your wedding day. Not the day before, not the day after. They made sure that that termination letter came on your wedding day. So if he does come back, I am so curious of how this is going to go down. Like, he won't be able to do the things that he did in AEW. I know that it's going to be like, oh, he makes the bucks and stuff like that. But him having, like, he really lost a lot with AEW. I mean, Tony Khan created 2 shows behind this guy, a whole pay-per-view behind this. Not a pay-per-view behind him, but pretty much All Out was about CM Punk once he came into the company. Now, All Out did exist before CM Punk came, but he created two shows behind this. Pretty much gave him, according to the dirt sheets, pretty much gave him full control of Collision, to where as though he was able to call the shots and stuff like that. So it's like, I'm very curious as to, like, why. It's just like, it's going to be the craziest thing to see of him actually going back to WWE. I think he may stay as, commentator with the UFC and stuff like that. We no longer have Fox, but if USA has like some sort of special or something like that for him to do something like that. But yeah, it's going to be very weird of him going back to WWE with Triple H in charge of creative. What's going on, Faction Cast? Jaydee would love to see Shelton in the BCC or get Charlie Haas back to reform the world's greatest tag team. There was someone who said that Shelton would work perfectly in the BCC. That would be great if they do that. But yeah, reform the world's greatest tag team. I think they said I don't know if they said that from what I read. I forgot where I read it. I don't know if that was in Impact or New Japan or AEW, but yeah. AEW has too many tag teams in my opinion right now. So, but him with Blackpool Combat Club, oh my gosh. And the way he has to get in is he has to fight them. So, oh my gosh, him versus Brian Danielson, I mean, what? Him versus John Moxley? Him versus Claudio? Book them matches. I would love to see that. But yeah, I think wherever, if I feel like Shelton Benjamin could go to AEW, and like I was saying earlier, he could go to New Japan as well since that he was there. But my goodness, the amount of dream matches that can be booked with Shelton Benjamin, I was hoping there would be a Hurt Business reunion that, he'll get back with Cedric Alexander. I don't know what's going to happen with Cedric Alexander. He's still there. What is going to happen with him? Because he really didn't have much to do either. So I don't know. Juan said Indy Hartwell deserves a push. Yeah, Indy Hartwell, Johnny Gargano, Tommaso Ciampa. I'm very confused at what Triple H is doing. I did mention it is a big difference between booking NXT and booking the main roster. And we're starting to see, like, it's a lot, bro. It's a lot. You are forgetting some of your people. Yeah, you're forgetting some of your kids from NXT. Yeah, Indy Hartwell, Candice LeRae, pretty much everyone from the way, except for Austin Theory. We clearly see from Triple H's booking, he is not favorable of Austin Theory. Probably sat there. Vince probably told Triple H that he's the son that I wish I had, or something along those lines. And then Triple H was probably went to Austin Theory and probably was like, suck it. I love Psyched. But yeah, I like Indy Hartwell, especially with her and Dexter Lumis, who is still with WWE, who still survived the releases as well. I was afraid to read Dexter Lumis, and I was like, man, the silent Stone Cold Steve Austin. I felt as though there's something that could be done with him as well. Mustafa, I can see going to Impact, Dolph to AEW. Others can do whatever. We're on the same page, Faction Cast. We are on the same page. Yes, I said the exact same thing. I said Mustafa can go to Impact, work with the X Division. Dolph Ziggler more likely would join his brother in AEW. And then, yeah, like I said, others may do. I can see Emma going to Impact as well, maybe. I think she was there previously before she came back to WWE. I think it was Impact that she was in. Yeah. If I'm correct. I believe she was in Impact originally. Shelton Benjamin to New Japan or AEW, like we said. I'm interested to see what's going to happen with Top Dollar. And I'm interested what the hell is going to happen with the rest of Hit Row who didn't get released. But yeah, to be completely honest, this may sound mean. When Hit Row came back, I was like, I don't know why we brought them back. They are not the same without Swerve. As we saw, they are not the same without Swerve. So, am I surprised at the release of Top Dollar? Not really. As we saw the last time we seen him, last time we saw Hit Row, it was a segment with Bray Wyatt, and the crowd was chanting, "Thank you, Bray." So, yeah. He's not a big deal anymore. CM sucks. Listen. According to CM Punk, James, according to himself, he is a big deal. And he was made a big deal in AEW. And like I said, if it is CM Punk to WWE confirmed, I am very interested to see how that's going to go down. And how long before we hear rumors of him starting shit backstage, especially between him and Triple H. Him versus Danielson, please. Yes. Tony, if you are listening, please, book Shelton Benjamin versus Bryan Danielson. Please. It's clobbering time. CM Punk used to say he got the clobbering in UFC. Listen, he probably doesn't want to remember that. I remembered watching his first match in UFC. Like, me and the host, we went to his cousin's house and everything like that, was like ready to watch CM Punk. And then it was just like, my guy, you're CM Punk. We thought that you would, win here or something. No. Him and Haas could go to New Japan or go to Ring of Honor. I keep forgetting about Ring of Honor. Yeah. I don't know with Shelton Benjamin going to Ring of Honor, though. I mean, we do have Samoa Joe in Ring of Honor, and we do see Samoa Joe on Dynamite and Collision right now. So, yeah, but like I said, he can go to New Japan. He can go to AEW. Definitely is a great mind. I feel as though if he does go to AEW, he can definitely be booked like they did with the Legend, stuff like that. As far letting him work with someone, he can team up with Powerhouse Hobbs. Tony, please listen to me. He can team up with Powerhouse Hobbs, and he can work with him. Oh my gosh, let it happen. A triple threat match: Miro, Powerhouse Hobbs, and Shelton Benjamin. I think the world would explode on that one. I think Vince has his hand in it. Are you talking about with the booking of what Indy Hartwell and all of them as well? Yeah, I would not be surprised if Vince is like lurking in the background or something like that. I'm sure that when he sits there and like trying to listen in of what Triple H is doing. What's going on, Temple? Thank you so much for tuning in. One of my favorites got released today. Yes, Dolph Ziggler, in my opinion, one of the most underrated WWE talents of the last 10 years. Yes, definitely one of the most underrated WWE talents. Like, he was the internet darling. I was so happy for him with the Survivor Series and stuff like that. But damn, they really like wasted him. He sold like money. Sold like money. James said, yes, Dexter can do a lot more with Johnny G and WWE versus oh yes, Johnny Gargano versus Daniel Brian Danielson. I think, or no, that was Adam Cole. I could have sworn, did we had Brian versus Johnny Gargano at one point? I'm not sure. I do know we had Adam Cole versus Brian when they were doing the NXT Survivor Series one. I'm trying to think. I could have sworn Johnny Gargano and Daniel Bryan crossed paths. I could have sworn that they crossed paths. Maybe they didn't. But I could have sworn Johnny Gargano had faced Daniel Bryan in WWE. Nope. Nope. Don't look like it. Damn. That sucks. But yeah, he can go. Well, I believe there was the period of time when Johnny Gargano was not under contract with WWE, and there were rumors of him in AEW. And I don't think Tony Khan wanted him or something like that, or something along those lines. But yeah, he didn't. He re-signed with WWE. Oh my gosh, give me Temple. Give me Dolph Ziggler versus Konosuke Takeshita. Oh my effing goodness, that match would roll. Listen, the selling, ladies and gentlemen, the selling. Can you imagine Dolph Ziggler selling the One Wing Angel or selling the V Trigger? Craziness. Him selling the V Trigger and stuff like that. That would be so great to watch. James says Daniel versus Johnny versus Omega versus Zack Sabre Jr. Oh my goodness. Listen, the fantasy booking that we're doing here. This is what I like about AEW though. With AEW, like, yeah, you know, they have storylines and stuff like that, but they do a lot of dream matches. I like the fact that Tony sits there and says, you know what, we're just going to book this dream match real quick just because, and I know you guys are going to enjoy it. Like Daniel versus Zack Sabre Jr. at Wrestle Dream. Thank you. Like, while yes, you don't need a storyline for that. It writes itself if you know who these people are. You know, just do a build and stuff like that for those who don't know, and to add excitement for us. You know, Will Ospreay versus Kenny Omega. You know, Omega versus Bryan Danielson when Daniel first came. You didn't need a storyline for it. It was Bryan sitting there saying, "I'm the best fucking wrestler. I want to kick your head in." The story writes itself. Yeah, you can build up the hype for it and stuff like that, but that's what I love about AEW is that yes, we don't really need a storyline 24/7. You can just book the dream match, hype up the feud, and let our excitement speak for itself. Like Powerhouse Hobbs versus Miro. You don't really need a storyline with it. It's a match, as you saw, we all loved, you know, big meaty men slapping meat. You know, do the build and stuff like that. Go from there. And yeah, call it a day. But yeah, oh my gosh. Bryan Danielson versus Johnny Gargano, Omega, and Zack Sabre Jr. That would be awesome. That would be awesome. Now, something I mentioned previously before, WWE made it official. For those who didn't know, Rhea Ripley is not injured. No, Nia Jax did not botch the Samoan drop and crushed Rhea Ripley. Rhea Ripley, mommy is a lot stronger than that. But no, she is not crushed. She actually was written off TV to go to Australia to announce that there will be a premium live event coming to Australia, which is Elimination Chamber, which is coming to Australia on Saturday, February 24th in 2024. Now, interesting thing, I would love to know the time of this pay-per-view because the difference between where Elimination Chamber is taking place and the East Coast of the United States is 12 hours. Meaning, if their show starts at 8 o'clock, motherfucking at night, that means we are watching Elimination Chamber while eating eggs and bacon. It's a little bit too early for me. Not saying that I won't watch it, but maybe. Depends, because I don't know what I'm doing February 24th in 2024. Don't know. But yeah, it's a 12-hour difference between Australia and the East Coast here. And so yeah, if they decide to they can't push it back any later. So I don't know. I think more likely it's going to be at 8 o'clock in the morning start for this pay-per-view. We'll probably do what happened with I believe it was Money in the Bank, where we'll do a watch along later on that night or something. But geez, if that's 8 o'clock in the morning on the East Coast, on the West Coast, I don't know if Ivan you still in the chat, but West Coast, that's like what, 5 in the morning. If they do that, it's like, bro, they can't tape it because everybody's gonna get all the spoilers, so they can't exactly tape it. We'll see. James said Hell in the Cell, Gilbert versus the Brooklyn Baller, 1 hour time limit. Why not? Oh my goodness. Book it. Book it, Triple H. Book it. But yeah, that's going to be very interesting of what the time is going to be for that as well. And then here some more rumors that we got going on as well. We have, first of all, Faction Cast. Jade Cargill is allegedly going to the Performance Center. A lot of the dirt sheets are saying that her contract with AEW is done, that she is going to WWE, to the Performance Center, and things like that. PW Insider is saying that she's getting main roster creative and it's a high priority for WWE right now. And that's according to Wrestling Observer Radio. Also saying that she will get a big push from WWE when she is signed. That seems to be at least partly because the company is going to pay her a lot of money, much more money than a normal person would starting out with WWE. Apparently, it's not like Charlotte Flair money or anything like that, or Becky Lynch money, but for a newcomer to the company, it's much higher than they usually go. So she got a good deal, and that's according to Wrestling Observer Radio, who also said that WWE is also working on creative for her. It's believed that she will have a brief run in NXT, and plans are being discussed for the main roster for WWE to justify the money. So yeah. That's why I kind of said the last episode is that I can see her going to NXT because she definitely has to learn the WWE way of wrestling and promos and stuff like that. And I said this during the AEW watch along, AEW Dynamite watch along last night with Tim, Dan, and Kayla. That yeah, her doing the I'm that bitch or that bitch show, it's not going to fly in WWE. So yeah, they definitely have to come up with something new for her. She has to cut the promo like WWE. She can't say cut the shit Tony or anything like that. And wrestle the way that they would want her to wrestle. WWE has a distinct style of wrestling, especially with the women. Like yeah, it's they don't get like down and dirty or anything like that, but WWE has his ways, and they definitely gonna have to show Jade Cargill as well. And while she's amazing, and every single time we see her is just pretty much like, so she's not, no, she's not going to put on 5-star matches in a Tokyo Dome or anything like that. But yeah, I expect her to be in NXT for a little bit and then have her come to the main roster. I can see her in NXT until probably like Royal Rumble, bring her up at that point, to kind of show her off a little bit. And then Jade Cargill versus Bianca Belair at Mania 40 confirmed. And I would love to see Jade Cargill again in person. But yeah, so that's why I feel. Now, the thing that's going to piss me off, and here is where my rant comes in.
Let the hate flow through you.
Is that I do not want to see all these people who put down Jade Cargill when she was AEW, calling her overrated and stuff like that. That as soon as she shows up in NXT on the main roster, that suddenly she is the best thing since sliced bread, and all of a sudden you love her and stuff like that. No, keep the same energy that you had for her in AEW. If you didn't like her in AEW, you thought she was overrated and green, stuff like that, don't sit here and start buying her damn t-shirts just because she's in WWE. I still love her, and I wish her all the best. And Jade Cargill versus Bianca Belair at Mania 40 confirmed. James said in UK, but gonna watch it the next day. Jack's broken backs. Yeah. That well, yeah, it's not going to be that much of a time difference for UK as far if you're talking about the Australia elimination chamber in Australia. But yeah, 12-hour difference and having it come on 8:00 in the morning. I mean, I'm probably just going to watch it later on in the evening and avoid all the spoilers. Because yeah, especially if we're doing a watch along. Johnny says, Temple says Johnny Gargano versus Bryan Danielson happened in my series in 2018 2K18 Iron Man match. Yeah, a lot of people put that match on in the 2K series, but yeah. I wish that we can get that match, Johnny Gargano versus Bryan Danielson, as well. That's it. All I'm going to say as far as the with the rumors and everything like that. So to get into the top topics, first of all, we had the return of The Rock out of fucking nowhere. WWE announced the show in Australia for Emma. Yeah, I mentioned that. That Emma was excited that they were coming to Australia, and then she tweeted like, "Oh damn, never mind. I just got released," which is a damn shame that she won't be able to be there. But who knows? Who knows what the future may hold? They may pull a may pull Bray Wyatt or Samoa Joe and call her back or something like that, or have her work that pay-per-view as a bit of a one-off or something. Who knows? I wish her the best. I wish that, she could show up and be able to wrestle on a premium live event in front of her, in front of Australia and stuff like that. But we shall see. LA Knight is a Rock wannabe. I'm surprised that we didn't have interaction between. Did we have interaction between The Rock and LA Knight? No, it was John Cena. But yeah, we had The Rock show up out of fucking nowhere. We had the segment with Pat McAfee came out and fucking listen, every single time they bring out Pat McAfee, I don't think they told Michael Cole, because every time Michael Cole comes out, I mean, every time Pat McAfee comes out, he's like, "Oh my gosh, here he is," and just like in complete shock that they brought him back, and they didn't put him on commentary, which is a bummer. But he had a segment with Austin Theory. They were wearing matching tank tops, and then Pat McAfee was, cutting his promo on The Rock, and then cutting a promo on Austin Theory, and then The Rock's music kind of like hit out of nowhere. And I'm like, what? Like, I'm completely shocked that they didn't promote the fact that he was going to be here. I'm sure a lot of people would have motherfucking tuned in if they had announced that he was coming. But he came out. He sat there and cut a promo against Austin Theory. He sat there and started doing the whole oh, this side says you're this side says asshole. Of course, the censor Fox probably was just like, enough of this shit. Because he kept having the crowd chant an asshole. I'm sure The Rock was like, what the fuck they gonna do? They ain't gonna do shit to me. So, it is what it is. So yeah, we had that segment with The Rock coming out of nowhere. Fox just sitting there just fucking pissed off at the amount of censoring that had to be done because with The Rock and everything like that. I'm sure, like I said, that The Rock was probably just like,
fuck him. Fuck him.
He didn't give a damn about the censorship. But they were promoting John Cena to appear there, and I was like, okay, he's going to be at the Grayson Waller effect and stuff like that. And I think it was Grayson Waller effect. Or yeah, I think it was the Grayson Waller effect that he was going to show up for. And I was like, okay, we're going to have this cool segment with him. Maybe Grayson challenge John Cena or something like that again. And then have John Cena do something. But John Cena didn't say anything.
Are you sure about that?
Ooh. Too much talking. Now I don't have my water. Ooh. Not too much talking, but I need to drink some water. But James said Pat McAfee can wrestle though. I want to see Rock versus Roman, but not at Mania. Jimmy and Jay as refs. They did say that Rock versus Roman was supposed to happen at Mania 39. But it didn't happen, I think, because The Rock had something planned, which is what was being said during the dirt sheets around that time too. Ooh, that coughing got my eyes all teary. So I don't know if we're gonna have something at Mania 40 or something like that. But Jimmy and Jay did say that they want to face each other at Mania 40. So we'll see how that goes down. A lot of wrestlers are wannabes of past wrestlers too. True. If you look into it, Hulk Hogan is pretty much a similar to what Billy Graham was. What else? I mean, if you really look into it, Sting with the Crow and everything. So a lot of gimmicks get recycled over and over and over again. So it really don't make a difference. But I like LA Knight because he kind of made it his own. Yeah, he is like a mixture of The Rock and Stone Cold Steve Austin, but it works. He's definitely catching fire. I mean, I liked him when he was in NWA, and he was a big fan of WWE back in the day during the Attitude Era, and he I think because he grew up with WWE and stuff like that, that a lot of the things that he said kind of made part of who he truly is as a person, because he was on a reality show that The Rock hosted. I think it was called The Hero or something like that. And The Rock was messing with him during that show too. And of course, he was told plenty of times how he sounds just like The Rock. Temple says Dolph Ziggler and his brother versus FTR or Young Bucks or Aussie Open for the AEW World Tag Team titles. Yeah, a lot of people are looking Dolph Ziggler and his brother to go against I think everybody was saying the Young Bucks, but yeah, I can see a lot of that happening. But yeah, I called it the Rock and Jock connection with The Rock and Pat McAfee, just pretty much out of nowhere. John Cena really didn't have much to do because he was backstage with The Rock. Him and The Rock hugged each other or something like that. And then when he was supposed to be on Grayson Waller, didn't even get a chance to say anything like that until Jey Uso comes out, and pretty much the segment was about Jimmy Uso came out. And the segment was pretty much about Jimmy Uso. So, and speaking of the Usos, my next topic is KO making sense. Now, we had the return of Jey Uso thanks to Cody, who decided in his pure heart to bring back Jey Uso for a second chance. People are wondering, like, why are we bringing back Jey Uso? People kind of like, are we forgetting what the fuck this guy did, especially the Cody? And KO during Raw this past week was like, I don't know why we're being nice to him. Like, he asked Cody, he was like, I don't know why you brought him back. Like, I guess we're going to forget what he did to you at WrestleMania 39. Like, you were unable to finish your story because he sat there and was just like, screwed you over. You could have had a title, but instead, now you're waiting to finish your story. I mean, the time from Cody sitting here saying, I'm going to finish my story and probably finishing the story is probably just going to feel
one eternity later.
So KO was like, are we going to forget everything that he did? And Cody sat there and said, I feel as though he deserves a second. He said, I believe in second chances. I'm like, my guy, I could see if he sat there and cost you, a shot at the IC title, or if he mistakenly super kicked you or something like that, we could say second chances there. But he constantly fucked with you during your title reign. And now you're at the back of the fucking line because of him and his brother. What second chances? You didn't even get your get back with him. You didn't even get your get back with him. And I'm sure that from what Adam Pearce has said to Jay, that there was a trade. So I'm sure Cody is all accepting of it because, he gets to be traded to SmackDown. And that's how he's going to get involved again with the bloodline. Well, I mean, actually with Roman Reigns. There's no bloodline like that anymore. So. James said, Rock don't care. He will drop F-bombs everywhere. LA Knight was in TNA. I think he should have been in WWE years ago, but he is too old to be WWE world champ. Though LA Knight versus Roman, why 10 minutes, Matt? Yeah, I mean, that was the thinking that Vince had with LA Knight, that he was too old to really be like pushed like that. But as we see with, he is over well with everyone. And I felt as though he deserved the push because he's very charismatic. Even if this lasts for like another year or so, it's a money maker. You can make a lot of money with, him being this popular. I'm sure a lot of people are buying his t-shirts and stuff like that. So yeah, he may be old, but so is AJ Styles. I mean, look at Ric Flair was still doing it many times later. Shawn Michaels. Like, I get that they were legends, but Sting is still wrestling as well. You're never too old to be popular, especially if you can make it work. I mean, Sting is a perfect example of someone who showed us that you're never too old. Motherfucker is jumping off of balconies and ladders and shit. And here I am sitting there coughing and hacking up a lung because I need to drink some water. But yeah, getting back to Cody, completely forgiving Jey Uso for what he did to him, which don't really make any sense to me at all. But we'll see where it goes from there. So we going into now AEW Grand Slam review. It was a pretty good episode of Dynamite. A lot of people were a bit upset at what happened because people were expecting returns and stuff like that, because that's kind of what happened at the previous Grand Slam. For the first one, we had Malachi Black, who showed up, and then the second one we had for the second one we had Saraya, who showed up. But in my opinion, it was still a good show. I mean, they used the people who they had. You know, if you're going to bring in Mercedes Moné or Edge, you can bring Mercedes Moné at Wrestle Dream, definitely. You can use Edge at Wrestle Dream as well, or at Full Gear. Especially if well, no, he didn't get released. He's going to let his contract expire. But there's no telling I don't know if they reported exactly when Edge's contract expired. Well, I think it did expire. I know he wrestled his last match, but I'm not sure when his contract actually expired. But yeah, in my opinion, it was a good show. It was a very good show. So starting off, and I was trying to get there we go. So starting off, we started off with Claudio versus Eddie for the New Japan Strong Openweight Championship and the Ring of Honor Championship. This was a very hard-hitting match between these two. They do not like each other, and I don't know, I figured that Eddie Kingston would win, but I really didn't expect for it to happen. Yeah, Adam Pearce is a good GM, and he don't do much but good in his role. He's very good in his role as GM. Like he isn't trying to be like the authority or on TV and everything like that. But yeah, he does very good in his role. He's there when he needs to be. Very similar to the way they had I think it was Jack Tunney way back in the day when WWE had like the president, and it was Jack Tunney, and he only showed up when they had to make like big decisions on wrestling matches, stuff like that. If a call needed to be overturned or something like that, he was pretty much like a Roger Goodell of WWE, even though it was Vince's company. But they kind of used Jack Tunney as a bit of a stand-in. Not every show does need a debut, though. Right, Temple? Not every show really needed a debut. I mean, some of these shows can stand on their own. Normally, whenever a debut is coming, Tony Khan or the wrestler will start dropping hints. I mean, they did it for CM Punk. When he first came, we had Darby Allin sitting there saying best in the world. And we had Tony Khan announce that, Rampage is coming to Chicago and stuff like that. Like, they'll drop little hints. They didn't drop any hints of what was happening at Grand Slam. They pretty much set up the matches and concentrate on setting up the matches. And yeah, AEW did have a period of time where pretty much every damn pay-per-view was a debut, but they don't need to have a debut. But do you really want Edge or Mercedes Moné, someone that big, to debut at Grand Slam anyway? You can do it. You can make it happen at a pay-per-view. Okay, you can make it happen at a pay-per-view. I'm so happy for Eddie Kingston finally won a world title. I'm very happy for Eddie Kingston. I am a big fan of Eddie Kingston, and I am happy for him. He does not like motherfucking Claudio, man. Ray Phoenix beating Mox was a shocker for me too. So happy for Ray Phoenix, though. I love Ray Phoenix. I feel as though Ray Phoenix is not a human being. If Edge have to get new music if he goes to AEW? I think so. I don't know. I really hope that he's able to keep that music. I don't know if WWE brought the exclusive rights to that song, because that song is done by an actual band. So I don't know if I don't know if WWE has the rights to that. Ooh, Edge will use Rob Zombie. Oh my gosh. Headbanger automatically. But yeah, so with that, we had Eddie Kingston, who won he retained the New Japan Strong Openweight Championship, and he is now the Ring of Honor World Champion. The most surprising thing is that we had a handshake between these two. Claudio reached out his hand for a handshake, and Eddie shook his hand. So 15 plus years of beef is now hopefully done and over with. With these two shaking hands, we will have to see. But my next favorite match, my next favorite segment is Adam. Adam, where are you? The jealous girlfriend segment. I call Roderick Strong the jealous girlfriend because it is so funny this character, this gimmick that Roderick Strong is doing with the neck and like completely acting like the jealous ex-girlfriend with the toxic friends with the kingdom. But Roderick in the trainer's room or a hospital, I don't know where the hell he was. I think it was the hospital, but pretty much was like, Adam, where are you? And you see Adam come alongside his bedside and like, I'm here. Are you okay? Stuff like that in the kingdom. Just straight up like, just straight up like the toxic friends were pretty much like,
oh, brother, this guy stinks.
So, yeah. Sat there and like, convenient that you showed up when we're about to leave. And then Adam was like, listen, is no convenience. I just showed up at this time. Then he had to leave Roderick's side because MJF was, wrestling in the main event and stuff like that. And Roderick is like, you care about him more than me. And then the funniest part that I completely was cracking up at, I don't know how no one started cracking up at this part. But Roderick Strong he's laying in the bed and he took the remote to lift himself up. And he was like, I don't know. I don't even know what he said because I was laughing. But he was like, I think he said, well, you can go or something like that. And then took the remote and then laid himself back down. I don't know how they kept a straight face with this, but this was amazing. James said, yes, for Kingston, it looked like it meant a lot good on him. Yeah. I'm very happy for Eddie Kingston that he won that title. And he finally got the respect from Claudio, as Excalibur explained to us. But yeah, so then after that, we had Christian Cage backstage, who every time Christian Cage comes around, he has to say, your father here? But he has a proposition for Darby Allin. Challenge Darby Allin in a triple threat match with Christian Cage and Luchasaurus. And Sting is not allowed to be ringside, which I cracked up at that. That I love Christian Cage as a heel. He will be in a tag team match against Darby Allin and Sting on Rampage. People was wondering if Edge was going to show up. I was like, nah, they're not going to have Edge show up on something pre-taped where they'll definitely spoil the shit out of it out for everyone. Nah, I think Edge will show up at the pay-per-view. That's what I think it is. Whether that's Wrestle Dream or at Full Gear, that's probably when we'll get Edge. I'm sure right now, Edge probably, once the contract expires with WWE, is just going to take a little bit of time to himself and probably spend time with his family or something like that. And then if he shows up in AEW, he'll show up in AEW. But I think if he does show up at AEW, he will be a face. He's not going to, it makes zero sense for him to try to be a heel out front because the fans are going to cheer for him. They're going to love the fact that he is there. And they're not going to immediately boo him. I think he's going to be a face for a little bit, do his thing, and then he's going to turn heel, join Christian Cage, and then it'll probably be the both of them. It'll probably be Christian Cage and Edge asking everyone, is your father here? What's going on, Tino's Time? What is going on? Thank you so much for tuning in. And then after that, we had the matchup between Chris Jericho and Sammy Guevara, which was, I did like the entrances between them two. They did shake hands and everything like that. A lot of back and forth here. I thought that Sammy Guevara was going to win, But instead, Chris Jericho wins with the Code Breaker, which I was completely shocked about. The crowd wasn't into this match as much as they were with when Eddie Kingston won. Which I was a little shocked about because it was the first time we were getting Chris Jericho versus Sammy Guevara. And Sammy Guevara did a very nice sequence towards the end of the match. Roderick Strong, so funny. Maybe Joe turns on MJF, cost him the championship and win for Adam Cole. Adam Cole really, I think. Listen, I love Samoa Joe, and I would love to see Samoa Joe as AEW champion. But I think next in line is going to be Adam Cole. I think Adam Cole will turn on MJF, which is going to be the complete heartbreaker. And I feel like that's when maybe he'll join Roderick Strong. But this whole thing with Roderick Strong and Adam Cole and Adam, I think is amazing. Like comedy gold right now. But yeah, Chris Jericho wins with the Code Breaker, which I was very shocked about. And after the match, they sat there and hugged. And then Sammy Guevara gives the low blow to Chris Jericho. And people sitting there very upset, started booing him, stuff like that. And out comes Don Callis. And of course, him and Sammy walks out with, a big course of booze. But I was like, hey, you have to think about it. All right. Sammy Guevara has been with Chris Jericho for a very long time. And while he did get a title shot, he did not win said title shot. Whereas though with the short amount of time that Takesha has been with Don Callis, Takesha has defeated Kenny Omega twice. And then this is the guy behind Kenny Omega that once Don Callis teamed up with Kenny Omega, that's when Kenny Omega became the belt collector. So I would say between having to be with Don Callis versus being with Chris Jericho, you probably would go with Don Callis a little bit more. I mean, that's the guy who is behind the guy. So I have to say, I have to kind of agree with Sammy Guevara here. Then we had a segment. We have a bit of promos with Samoa Joe and MJF talking shit to each other about what was going to happen afterwards. And then we come up for the AEW International Championship, Jon Moxley versus Rey Fenix, which was it was an interesting match. Now there was a segment when we was watching it live. You saw from the camera, it looked like Rey Fenix was putting something in Jon Moxley's hand. We thought he was handing him a blade right then and there. But no, he was actually checking to see if he was okay, which which I didn't know until, of course, after we read about it. There was a very, very, very weird finish. Of course, we had the Phoenix did the Phoenix driver, and then it looked like, watching live, it looked like Jon Moxley's head actually does hit the mat. There's some camera angles that some people saw that looked like maybe his head actually was more on Phoenix's leg, but you can clearly tell that he was fucked up, because then Rick Knox counted to 3 and Jon Moxley didn't even get a shoulder up. And then Rick Knox, pretended like he actually kicked out. You see Jon Moxley say something, and then for some reason, don't know why, but for some reason, Rey Fenix does the Phoenix driver again, which is the craziest thing. And then from there, Rey Fenix rolls him up and he wins the AEW International Championship. Now, according to the dirt sheets, Jon Moxley was injured before the match happened, apparently, and that the finish was an audible, and it was Jon Moxley who called the audible for Phoenix to win or something along those lines. I'm not sure how true that is, but if he got injured before the match, why did we allow him to wrestle in a match if he was possibly concussed? James says Moxley and CZW was hardcore 1 year from now. Who do you think would be WWE's World and AEW champion? A year from now, I think it would be Adam Cole as champion. And for WWE, I think it would be Cody Rhodes. That's who I think will be WWE's and AEW's world champion. I think WWE will be Cody Rhodes and AEW it would be Adam Cole. I think Adam Cole is going to win the title come Full Gear. I think he'll get another title shot from MJF, and then Adam Cole is going to somehow turn on MJF at that point and win the title at Full Gear. And I think they're going to give him a year of Adam Cole, have Adam Cole face everyone, and then have Adam Cole possibly lose it at maybe at the next Full Gear or something like that. But I think he's going to have the title for a long time. So then we get to Samoa Joe sat there and cut a promo backstage and stuff like that. And then we get to the respectfully match. First of all, Toni Storm, respectfully, Saraya as well. A lot of respect in this match. A lot of respect in this match. Respectfully, Toni Storm. I love Toni Storm's gimmick with watch out for the shoe. And we had Saraya who came out with Ruby Soho. This was a bit about a back and forth match between these two. But in the end, Saraya retains the title. I'm very interested to see, like I said, when she won the title, of how Saraya's title reign is going to go. If we're going to kind of book her more like Britt Baker, where she'll get a lot of segments and stuff like that, who knows? But I am loving this Toni Storm gimmick of the people are saying Marilyn Monroe, but if you look up I think the movie is called Sunset Boulevard. It's the segment where I forgot her name, but she says, Mr. Director, I'm ready for my close-up. If you watch the way that she was in that scene, like she kind of not really acts like the way that Toni Storm is, like a deranged actress, but it gives me those type of vibes. And I think that's what she is kind of copying the character off of versus Marilyn Monroe. Because I think with Marilyn Monroe was more of a sex icon. And I don't think that that's exactly where Toni Storm was going, because Toni Storm kind of comes off as like this deranged actress. But we will see. MJF and WWE 2024. I really want to see, but will he be allowed to be the root MJF he has been in AEW and WWE? I hope they don't water him down. Thumbs down if they do. They're definitely going to water him down. Like, he won't be able to. I think if he is a face in WWE, I think he'll be able to be kind of similar to what he was in AEW, as far as like this. I doubt it, because with WWE, it's pretty much like, if you're a face, you're a face. If you're a heel, you're a heel. And they're definitely going to water him down. He won't be able to do half the things that he does in AEW. Like, because with MJF, he keeps the gimmick on 24/7. And I really do not see him going to WWE signings, telling kids that they're adopted or talking about them and their dad or something like that. I don't see that happening. I think it will be a watered down version of MJF, unfortunately. But I hope that they kind of keep him the way he is as a bit of a face, where he's just like, he's a face, but he's still a scumbag. But I don't know if that's going to work in WWE with the WWE crowd, because that crowd, they cheer for the face and they boo the heels a lot of times. So I'm very interested to see how that is going to play out, though, how MJF is going to look in WWE, because he keeps talking about it, and I'm very interested to see how they're going to play him. Tipple says, is Toni Storm trying to play off a Marilyn Monroe character, isn't she? I think she's more of this character that's from Sunset Boulevard. If you look that up, Sunset Boulevard, I'm ready for my close-up. I feel like she's more of like this deranged actress or something like that. I don't think she's more Marilyn Monroe, because Marilyn Monroe, she was, she knew that she was being sexy and stuff like that. She was like all there, I should say, the way I would say it. And it's like, I feel like Toni Storm is just trying to, she's kind of like, a bit off, I guess I should say. I think that's how she is. There's the character from Sunset Boulevard. But, the character is still coming along, but I am loving this character. And once again, respectfully, Toni Storm. So then we come to the main event, MJF going against Samoa Joe. We had MJF who did the Bret Hart entrance with this kid. And of course, he had to make it MJF way by he gives the kid his scarf and then tells the kid that he is adopted, which the kid asked his dad. I would love to know whose kid that was. But that was a funny entrance. I like face MJF, that he is a face, but he's still a scumbag. He's our scumbag, of course, but he still does heel tactics and things like that. With this match, of course, him doing a low blow to Samoa Joe, pulling out the big diamond ring, got caught though. But pretty much is still showing that he can be a heel, one of the things I do like about AEW is that a face can still kind of do heel tactics and still be a face, because not everyone is completely perfect. I love that there's a bit of realism to AEW, kind of similar to the Attitude Era, where we had Stone Cold Steve Austin, who is technically a heel, but he is a face. With The Rock kind of technically is a heel, but he is a face. Or with the Generation X, of course. And I like that. I like that factor when it comes to AEW, that you can cheer for who you want, you can boo for who you want, you can cheer and boo for whoever you want. MJF's so funny. I think he's a really good dude. 24/7 gimmick, good on him, true to his job. Definitely, it's very hard to stick to a gimmick 24/7, especially if you're like genuinely a nice person. Like I've heard that he is from different people. A lot of people mention how he is genuinely a very nice person. And I like the fact that we're kind of getting a bit of a break from MJF being like completely a douchebag and a heel, that we're getting this like unique version of him where you can cheer for him, stuff like that. Like he puts over a fucking kangaroo kick. Like who does that? We also had Samoa Joe, who also gave MJF a low blow, sat there and did his finisher on Samoa Joe as well. And we had Adam Cole who came out because he had to leave. First of all, he had to leave MJF. I mean, he had to leave Roderick's side to stay by MJF's side. And you see him come out because he left a little bit late from the hospital. He came out, ran down to the ring, and jumped off the ramp so that he could be ringside. And he jumped down. You see him kind of land a little weird, and then started limping. And I was pretty much like, I really hope he didn't tweak like his Achilles or anything like that. I hope it's just a mild sprain or something. Because I would love to see this play out as far as with Adam Cole, MJF, and Roderick Strong as well. Joe should have been world or WWE champion for a bit anyways. Joe. Yes, I love Samoa Joe. He should have defeated Brock Lesnar. That's what should have happened. He should have defeated Brock Lesnar when he was on fire with them promos. That's what should have happened. But yeah, I agree. He should have been WWE champion. Samoa Joe is just good at what he does. I like the fact when he was Ring of Honor TV champion, when he was world champion. Well, no, he wasn't world champion. When he was Ring of Honor TV champion. I love it. I just man. I just want Joe, like Samoa Joe, like cut diamonds with his promos, Samoa Joe. That's all I wanted when he was in WWE. And I was so upset when he lost against I was so upset when he lost against Brock Lesnar. I think that was a big mistake. Carilla DeVille, Tony Storm. I can see Carilla DeVille, Tony Storm, because she definitely is just pretty much like well, I mean, minus the Dalmatians and stuff like that. But I can definitely like I said, I think Tony Storm is just a deranged actress who feel as though like she's always in the spotlight 24/7. Tony Storm, I would listen. Respectfully, Tony Storm. Love Tony Storm. But yeah, we had a bit of heel work from MJF and Adam Cole. MJF grabbed a rope, which is how he defeated CM Punk. Took a rope, choked out Samoa Joe, and it led to a referee stoppage from a sleeper hold. And Max and MJF, MJF and Adam Cole celebrated and everything like that. And Samoa Joe, got up, walked over to MJF, and went for the handshake, which I'm like, okay, somebody is about to attack here. But no, instead, MJF sat there and shook hands with Samoa Joe, which I was completely surprised about. But in the end, we had, Adam Cole and MJF celebrating in the ring and stuff like that. And all is well for right now. So yeah, I liked overall, I really liked Grand Slam. I think it was a pretty good show. Fuck the match. The kids segment was fucking gold. You're adopted. Yes, I love that entrance when he sat there and gave him the scarf. It was pretty much like Bret Hart. Was it Joe Namath or something like that? Or no, I forgot who it was originally, but I do know that Bret Hart did it. But yeah, that was a funny entrance. Like a lot of things that they do that MJF right now is doing is complete gold. That's why I still want this to continue to happen. This bromance between Adam Cole and MJF is amazing. James said, yes, instead of a match that won a few minutes, Joe and Brock versus Joe versus Daniel would be not. They've had a match. Yeah. Joe versus Daniel Bryan and Joe versus Brock. I really was upset that Samoa Joe lost to Brock Lesnar. Because I was like, the promos that we had between those two was just complete fire. But of course, with fucking Vince McMahon's booking back then, when people wanted Samoa Joe to defeat Brock Lesnar, Vince McMahon was pretty much like,
not a chance. Not this time. It never happened. It never happened. We made this one up. It's fiction.
Yeah. It's never gonna happen. We can only let it play out on our 2K23 scenarios or AEW Fights Forever as well. But yeah, but like I said, overall, Grand Slam was a pretty good show. I know people were upset because they were expecting debuts and stuff like that, but AEW didn't make any type of reference that there would be a debut. Even Christian Cage himself said the only friend he has is Luchasaurus. I would love a Samoa Joe versus Eddie Kingston program. on Ring of Honor AEW. Now, please and thank you. Yes, please give us all these magic bookings. I would just love to see a promo off between these two. Oh my gosh, a promo between Samoa Joe and Eddie Kingston. They can book a fucking TV series based off of that. I would love to see it. But yeah, I would love to see that. But yeah, overall, pretty good show as far as with Grand Slam. And then we have Grand Slam that is coming on Rampage. We have the triple threat match, Hook, Orange Cassidy, and Chris Statlander going against Anna Jay, Matt Menard, and Angelo Parker. We got Darby Allin and Sting going against Christian Cage and Luchasaurus. We have the Elite going against Mogul Embassy. We also have Julia Hart going against Sky Blue. Respectfully, that match. We also have the Righteous going against the it's a four-way tag team match. The Righteous, the Kingdom, the Hardys, and the Best Friends. And then for the AEW Trios Championship, the Acclaimed going against the Dark Order as well. Joe versus Kingston, I would love to see the promos between those two. Ooh, yes, add Moxley and make that a triple threat. Yes, that would be amazing. A triple threat between those three. Just give me all the fucking vignettes of them two just cutting promos against each other. That would be amazing. Definitely. But that is it for the Wrestlebread podcast. Thank everyone for watching. You can find me on Twitter at JDC137. You can find the podcast at Wrestlebread as well. Be sure to check out the Fanatics Network, the hub for all your fandom. I feel like I got that wrong. I'll get it next week. But be sure to check out the Fanatics Network. You can go on there. If you don't know what the Fanatics Network is, it is the hub for all your fandom. A lot of podcasters, amazing writers there who are passionate about what they do and talk about. We talk about wrestling. We talk about sports, fantasy football as well. We're coming to the end of baseball, so there's no fantasy baseball. I don't think so. Video games, entertainment as well. Go to the website, check out all the podcasts and everything on there, and be sure to check out to see what speaks to you. Go follow that podcaster and read the articles as well. Shout out to the chat. Thank you guys so much for chatting with me and going, as we talked about everything that is going on. Thank you, James, for tuning in. I'll be back tomorrow for Watch Along. Peace. Thank you so much for tuning in. Shout out to Temple and everyone else who has been commenting as well. And something that I decided to do now is to give a shout out to certain shows. Like I said, we have a lot of podcasts out there that are live stream. We have Something New Daily. We have the Universal Wrestling Podcast. We have the AEW Dynamite Watch Along. We have the Outrage Control podcast as well. We got Roto Slappers for all your needs for fantasy football as well. We have the Dome Field Advantage podcast too. Whether or not you're a fan of the Saints, be sure to check that out as well. And to give a special shout out to the show, we have every single Tuesday, we have this. Now we have the director's cut every Tuesday at 9:30. Graydon gives his opinion on whether it's the latest movies or, something that came out a while ago. If you watch that intro and you say, I like that, I like that, I like that movie, definitely tune in on 9:30 on Tuesdays and check out what Graydon has to say as he gives you the opinion on whether you should watch something or not watch something. So something I decided to do each week is to kind of give a shout out to one of our shows from the Fanatics Network. So yeah, shout out to Graydon and the Director's Cut. But like I said, thank you so much for watching me. I am live, LIVE live, yeah, every Thursday at 9 p.m. EST exclusively on the Fanatics Network. So next week, getting more into what is going on in wrestling. If there's going to be more releases, are we going to get more of The Rock and John Cena or something like that? Because they don't have anything to do, so we'll see how it goes. But like I said, be sure to follow me on the socials. Thank you guys so much for watching. And until next time, guys, peace.